So here we are, Weymouth Beach at about 8:30 in the morning. Southwest Coast Path just runs along the front here, so we're still on with them. And where are we going? It's the final day, it's day 10, and we should make it to the very end of the Southwest Coast Path over in Poole. It's 2 bus services, but I think we'll jump off once or twice on the way and we'll have a look at where we go. So the first thing is, let's pop down here, coffee and a croissant, and then we'll jump on the bus towards Swanage. It's very quiet in Weymouth this morning, but the horse riders are out passing by the slightly garish Jubilee clock, where one face doesn't show the correct time. Then I pass the extravagant Royal Hotel before I find a coffee at a seafront cafe. Over the road is an old bathing machine, and beyond that, more garish statuary to celebrate George III, who made Weymouth his summer residence fully 14 times between 1789 and 1805. Anyway, as the Punch and Judy man sets up, let's get to the bus stop. So there's the westbound X52 on its way to Bridport, but of course we're going to go the X54, and first stop, Lulworth and Lulworth Cove. That's number 30 to Swanage, and we will catch a 30 I reckon when we get to Lulworth, but we're just going to hang around for the extra 3 minutes to get the X54 open top breezer. Sadly, I have no luck getting an open topper, but I still part with my flat fare of £2 and make my way upstairs. I like this moquette. Is it tiger stripe or maybe printed circuit board? Time for a quick lap of King George before we head out up the esplanade. And these clock faces show the correct time, as it's just after 9:30 in the morning now. We briefly turn away from the sea and pass Queen Victoria before we then get a great view of Greenhill Gardens. Then we drop down behind the Bowls Club to run along the water's edge along Preston Road. So now we've left the sea for a while, let's have a quick look at the route. We'll pick up the main road at Preston and follow it through Osmington, until we turn southbound through Winfrith Newburgh on our way to Lulworth Cove. It's a bit overcast, but I'm expecting just a bit of sunshine for my last day of Southwest Coast bus. And I'm also hoping for a bit better luck with the buses than I had on day 9. At Warmill Cross, the bus joins the A352 which heads towards Wareham. And looking down, we can see there's bags of legroom on this bus, and maybe that plate is where there used to be some USB power. On the turning for Lulworth Cove, there appears to now be a queue of breezers heading south. And then we pass Winfrith Newburgh, a very posh village which features Winfrith House. And a quick look at Google shows that one comes with a tennis court and a swimming pool in the back garden. Still, Dorset's thatched cottages can't be anything but delightful, as is St Christopher's Church. There are huge overflow car parks awaiting the flood of summer visitors to Durdle Door. Another reason to ride on the bus. This is definitely a lot less hassle. Ahead there's a dip in the cliffs. I think that must be Lulworth Cove. And here we are at Lulworth Cove's bus and coach station and vast car park complex. And as we leave, our very helpful driver gives some people advice on which buses to catch next. Well done, mate. And now our X54 draws forward to wait until its time departure for Wareham. Right, over my shoulders the bus, so we're off at Lulworth Cove, and hopefully we're here just after 10 o'clock, so it should just, well, judging by the car park, it's not going to be too busy down there yet. So let's pop down to have a look around Lulworth Cove while it's not too busy, as it's an hour till the next bus. Well, this looks like a nice walk along to Lulworth Cove. Looks a bit less busy than taking the left-hand route, and besides, it's to the coast path. Let's find the coast path. And here we are on the coast path, and as I'd hoped, there's a lot less people that went this way. The path leads us to the stunning stair hole where the rock is folded up in waves. Wow, these rock formations are pretty special. There you have it, Lulworth Cove, an almost circular cove. So let's carry on around the little headland here and we get a better view of it. From this viewpoint, looking west, we can see Portland. And here it is, Lulworth Cove. "10,000 years ago, a huge river of glacial meltwater cut a gap in the rocks. As a result, the sea flooded in, and over many years it removed the softer rocks from behind the wall of Portland limestone, giving the cove that we can see now. This really is stunning, well worth getting up early for so that I can enjoy it in some level of peace and quiet. Okay, let's climb down into the cove itself and just enjoy this place for a moment." As I walk back, I certainly can't complain about all the tourism. After all, I'm just one more, and so will you be if you take my advice and come and see this for yourself. Right, well, the bus is due away from here in about 20 minutes, but if I climb up there for 5 minutes, we might get another view. So let's see how far and how fast I can climb in 5 minutes. Let's go. I'm out of breath, but I'm walking as fast as I can. Steve Marsh should be proud of me. I can kind of see Durdledore in the distance, but I've made myself late for my bus now. Right, down there somewhere is Durdledore, but I just have to turn round. Bus leaves in something like 8 minutes, so I may well miss it now, but let's go. Hammer down that hill, let's go. Jogging down the hill turns into running down the hill. And my advice, don't do this, kids. Don't think this blue one's mine. I think the green one behind is mine. Well, it pays to play American football and be fit enough to run down a hill, doesn't it? Swanage, please. Lovely, cheers. Crikey, I am absolutely pooped after that run. Luckily, I'll get to have a nice sit down for the 1 hour ride to Swanage. Well, on the climb out of Lulworth Cove, it is evident that this bus's exhaust is blowing a bit. And West Lulworth is a riot of thatched cottages. Just outside the village, Lulworth Camp has been home to the Armoured Fighting Vehicle Gunnery School since 1918. Our bus will go directly north to Wool, thereby avoiding the active ranges. Well, this old Scania is a bit beat up, but it will get me there. Hopefully. We arrive in Wool to find another number 30 trying to pass through. But it's actually the daft driver in the white van that's been causing the blockage. Wool looks a really pretty place that I've actually not seen before, because previously I've always passed by on the train some way out of the town. And on that subject, here's Wool Station, which is billed as one of the connection points for Lulworth Cove. After the station, we pick up the A372 for a pretty straight run into Wareham. Our route will take us first to Wareham Station along the bypass and over the charmingly named River Piddle. On the approach to the station, we cross over the South Western Railway's main line between Weymouth and London Waterloo. The bus does a drop-off on the roundabout near the station, and then we're back over the railway and heading for Wareham town centre itself. Once more, crossing the Piddle. Wareham looks to be a prosperous little market town. It no doubt benefits from the railway making it under 2.5 hours away from London Waterloo. Meanwhile, I eye that X50 open topper with some jealousy. Let's hope our final ride will be in the fresh air. Just south of the town we cross the River Frome, or is it called Frome around here? And that river is navigable from here out into Poole Harbour. Past Stowborough, we are now on the main road to Corfe. But just before Corfe Castle, we will make a little detour to the Northern Park and Ride, which links to the Swanage Railway. Stop done, it's back across the railway and on into Corfe Castle, past the castle of the same name standing proudly on its castle mound. The town of Corfe Castle is very pretty, although somewhat blighted by all the traffic it must contend with in the summer. Our bus gets through relatively quickly, and we're speeding on following the route of the Swanage Railway. And we so very nearly get a marvellous shot of a train passing underneath us. Oh well, we'll get to see it a bit later when we get to Swanage. After Harmon's Cross, it's a short run into Swanage town centre, and our rattly Scania brings us to a halt right outside Swanage station. And now we're here, it would be rude not to go inside and have a look round. And besides, they've got a cafe where I can get a cuppa. And there behind us is our number 30, already remarked up to go back through Lulworth Cove and on into Weymouth. So here we are at Swanage Station. Now if you want to see more of Swanage Station, there is a video, and I've already had a ride on this line, so if you want to look at that, it's probably up there somewhere on the screen now. Anyway, very nearly at the end of the south-west coast path. So we just got one more bus, a breezer, to take us to Shell Bay, and then that'll be it, all the way from Minehead. So come on, let's get down, let's queue for the bus, hopefully open top, and get ourselves down to Shell Bay. Oh, and here comes the train. So let's watch that first. And here comes the Southern U-Class 260 that we overtook earlier, looking resplendent in its British Railways livery and number. I'll watch it run around and then get a cup of tea and a sandwich and await my final bus of the challenge. Our final bus will be a number 50 Breezer, and it is an open topper. So on day 1 we started with an open top bus, and here on day 10 we will end the challenge in the fresh air too. I hand over another £2 and my seat is secured for Shell Bay. Mind you, I'm aiming to get off a stop or two before that. Oh, and that promised sun is shining. What excellent weather we have to end this challenge. First up, we get a run along the very golden sands of Swanage Bay. It's easy to see why this is a popular spot with holidaymakers. Up ahead is the final headland that South West Coast walkers will have to complete. Us bus riders will do it in comfort on the top deck. Soon we're tracking up towards Studland and my final destination. As I ride the bus, I reflect what a great time I've had, but I'm also pleased to now be completing it. To our right, tired legs of walkers will be trudging across the sand, probably having similar feelings of both elation and relief. Oh, I can see Poole Harbour ahead. It's time to press the bell. So here we are, nearly finished. That's the last bus disappearing into the distance, and I got off just one stop short of Shell Bay so that we can walk along, pick up the coast path and then come along to the final marker. One little problem though, this path we're on right now leads to the South West Coast path, except it joins it at the naturist beach, and well, frankly, I'm not the kind of guy that takes a video camera to a naturist beach. So there's, I think, the left-hand turn slightly before this where we can cut off that little bit of the South West Coast path and then rejoin it after the naturist beach. I think that's safest. Wow, isn't that purple lovely? Look at that. I suppose as we walk along quietly towards Shell Bay, maybe a few reflections on the 10 days. It was quite tough, not as tough as walking 630 miles, that's for sure. Had to do some early mornings and late nights and carrying my camping gear at the start. So it wasn't a total breeze or breezer. But it's been very interesting because, of course, I visited places in the southwest just on my doorstep that I'd never been to before. And forcing yourself to take little bus routes, I think the memories of the buses going down all the lanes, even just today where the bus got jammed with another bus coming the other way. The bus drivers, full marks to them. It's really tight driving around the southwest. Bus companies, I think it's got to be a clear winner is Transport for Cornwall. Far better than all the others. No problems, no hold-ups, no delays, no breakdowns, and they did a fantastic job, probably on the tightest and most difficult of roads. So full marks to them, and thank you to all the bus drivers and all the bus companies that have got me all the way from Minehead. What an absolutely daft thing to do. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. This is day 10 of this whole madness, so if you've watched them all and followed me around, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it, and one or two of you, no doubt, when I release these will be commenting various comments. I'm sure I missed some fantastic places, and I'm sure I could have picked a slightly better route at certain points, but forgive me my failures. Here we are, we've made it to Poole. Well, nearly made it to Poole. We've made it to Studland, which is the genuine end point. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time that Johnny Hoover does something daft. Anyway, here we are stepping out through the dunes and onto Shell Bay itself and Journey's End. But I still have 2 jobs left to do before I make my way to Bournemouth Station to get the train back to Weymouth. The first one is to pay my respects to this blue sign here, the start or the end of many thousands of epic walks. And to all the people that have done the walk, I salute you. And my second job? Well, it's to pop over the road to the pub to buy myself a well-earned beer. Thank you all so much for coming on this odyssey with me. I hope you enjoyed the 10 videos. And as Johnny said, I'll see you again on the channel for more Johnny Hoover Travels.